Hello and welcome to Maggie's Fun Time. This is Magzie, and we are back here on the forums, Hypixel SkyBlock forums. If you guys like this episode, make sure you smack that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this, guys. My intent this morning when I woke up is to do recording, possibly do two, go to work, come home, relax. In the process of doing my first recording of the day, which is always Hypixel, I went a little long and basically I was planning on just finishing the Hypixel recording off and then doing Stardew Valley when I got home. Halfway through the actual recording, they popped an update. So now instead of doing Stardew Valley, I have to do this. I plan on doing an extra recording this weekend and posting it for you guys for Stardew Valley, so we're not getting behind on that. I don't want to get behind on that anymore. I would like to finish that one because I got a bunch of Stardew Valley stuff planned, and I need to finish that recording off first. I have this habit of moving on to other projects and not finishing the ones. I want to finish that one. We want to look at all the 1.6 update stuff on Stardew Valley, and then I have a thing where I want to make a farm to use as a testing platform. So we want to get it to the year 3, and then we're going to cut that off, and then I'm going to use that one to go on and test like crop, best crops, all that kind of stuff. So that's the plan for Stardew Valley. Anyway, guys, we have an update dropped today. Tons of improvements to foraging. So let's get on here and look. This week we have tons of improvements to foraging, a new mob type system, and plenty of bug fixes. Keep reading to learn all the details. Now, some of the people that I watch have gotten into their brains that they need to come on when the patch notes hit and just read off of the patch notes and then go into the game and show details in the game, which I think is a great idea. Why haven't I been doing that all this time? Anyway, just calling some people out. There is a part at the end, but I don't like to read the end to beginning, so there's part at the end that's relevant to other stuff, but we're just going to go from the beginning all the way down and get this out of the way. I am not going to show every single detail of all this stuff. I will open it up. You can pause the video at this side if you want to read it. I will also leave a link to the patch notes in the description down below. Not only that, every time I make a Stardew Valley recording, I put the patch notes link in the, it gets carried over. So the link right now should be 23.2. And as of this video, every time I make a Stardew Valley video, the link will come to this one, the patch notes for this one. So that's the way it works. That's the way it's always worked. That's the way it's always done it. So, foraging improvements. They added a crap ton of stuff to the museum. So most of the museum stuff you can now get and pop into the museum. There is a full list of all of them, including Terminator. Somebody pointed that out. I don't know why you would want to point that out. I guess it's something that people have been waiting on. I don't know. If you know, tell me in the comments down below. There's new achievements now, and I will show you the list of achievements. There's a special note here, so let's read this. We added 135 new achievement points through some of the new foraging related achievements. We've also renamed the dragon egg to the golden dragon egg, and it's now gives 15 achievement points instead of 10, sorry. And here are the new achievements right here. Catching a mob in the black hole. I'm assuming once you log in, I should have already got these popped off because I was already in the game when it went live. Using 50 shards. Yeah, okay. If you're into the achievements and stuff like that, achievement points. Other foraging changes. So they've added 3 hidden brackets to Agatha's content, which is the contest. Sorry. Agatha's contest is the one where you go over to the foraging area and you galati and cut down trees and do all the stuff over there, and you get points for that. And there's a tier system and all that good thing. I've also seen in some other videos, I haven't done many of her contests, but apparently they've raised the bar on some of the tiers that were already in the game, the brackets, to where they're a little bit higher. I think it's legendary and up. So if you want, you can go take a look in game. That's probably posted on the wiki now, also by now. If not, just wait a couple days. They'll change the wiki up so it'll read the correct numbers. I don't do much of Agatha's contest. It's pretty much passive. It's not like a farming contest. So just you go over there and do your stuff, and you automatically get Agatha contest completion stuff. Melodies changes. You now only need to get 90% perfection on melody songs for the maximum SkyBlock XP and intelligence bonus. I guess they're trying to get this more relatable to regular players, because regular players aren't going to go over there and do these songs for this benefit. They're just not going to do it. So, but players that want the maximum amount of points out, or they're achievement hunters that, you know, like want to mini max their accounts, they go for the Melody's hair and that kind of stuff. They also said by extension, Melody's hair is now only requiring 90% on all non-personal harp songs to earn the talisman. Melody's harp now physically appears as damaged before you fix it. Okay. So if you guys haven't done the new quest for the foraging update, you start at the lumberjack and you do his quest, and he sends you to the park. And as you're going through the park, one of the over in the I got it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Acacia wood. The acacia forest. Your quest over there is to help Melody out. So, and I'm guessing that's so you'll see where Melody is. Shows all new players where Melody's at, and you can come back and do her little quest thing. But it's always been not there. So I'm assuming that the actual broken harp is actually supposed to be there, and then when you fix it, it's supposed to show it fixed, which it wasn't doing. I guess it's some kind of a glitch, but they fixed that. That should be in a bug thing, though, instead of the regular changes. New Galati sea creature, bogged, drops mango logs in sea lemons. Unlocks at fishing 5. You'll have to excuse me, guys. I'm really tired. The archer shards are now the bogged shards and is dropped by hunting bogged. Renamed the attributes for monster bait to creature fisher. New epic attribute, chopped. I might want to go for this attribute because this sounds like it's going to be pretty sweet. So, chop, the effect is it grants 10 to 100% chance to chop an extra log on top of the ones you get from your sweep. Obtaining 0.15% drop from fig tree gifts and 0.25% drop from mango tree gifts. So that's pretty good. Anything that gives you more wood when you're chopping is better than it was anyway. So, legendary attribute Bayou Biter effects grants 0.5 to 5 double hook chance while in the backyard bayou. And if you're fishing there for sea creatures, this will be good. But there is a set player base that goes up there to fish without sea creatures. This is not. I don't think this is going to do anything for you, I don't really know whether double hook accounts for items. I'm pretty sure that's just sea creatures, and then you do have the separate thing that is blessed, which doubles your regular drops, treasure drops, whatever. Obtained by hunting the Titanova. I'm guessing it's some kind of snake thing. I don't think I've encountered that yet. Kudra now gives 111, 1.25, and 1.5 Kraken shards for tiers 1 through 5. So if you do like Kudra, you'll get the shards, these shards from that. Instead of Demon Fusion, now outputs 2 shards instead of 1. Okay. The Master Mode 7, an Apex or Power Dragon Shard, is now guaranteed to appear in Emerald Chest or higher. The shards do not affect what other loot you get from the chest, and is purely a bonus reward. So you get extra rewards for doing this. So that's actually pretty good for you guys. I am nowhere near Master Mode 7, and I don't know whether I ever will be, so there's that. Improved some of the fusion recipes. I haven't gotten into fusion a lot. I'm gonna let you guys look at all these recipes and see if it's good or not. Yeah, so they're there if you guys need them. Added emblems for reaching Agatha level 5. Heart of the Forest 5 and Heart of the Forest 7. Heart of the Forest XP rewards are now converted to whispers if you've maxed out your Heart of the Forest. So that's pretty good. At least you got some. At least it'll go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Added flex bones to the bazaar. Double the foraging fortune given by centrine gemstones. Really? Okay, I need to look into putting centrines on my stuff then, because I haven't been doing that because it wasn't really giving you enough, and I guess they decided that was true. So an incentive to actually gem our stuff. I think most of the stuff we got that we're using on our main profile, it does have gemstone slots. The next time I play, we might want to check in on that and see exactly how much that bonus is in game. We'll take a look at that in the future. Boosters have booster changes. All boosters can be sold on the bazaar. All boosters now are stackable. Thank God. The old boosters grant. I'm saying thank God I didn't have many boosters, but just in general, it's annoying to have something that was only one. I don't know why that is. Stop doing that. When you're in development, this is for the devs. When you're developing something and someone in the group says, why don't we make this like just a one item that just sets in your inventory in one slot? Somebody should just smack him. All right. No, I'm not really, but come on. Like inventory management, guys. we definitely don't need more stuff. Now, if you're gonna put this in like some kind of a sack or something, yeah, do that. But like stop it. We got enough stuff that drops in our inventory that can't stack like those. You guys can tell me whether I'm right about this. Those little things you get from the mining events. Those little things you're supposed to consume to get the 5 of them to boost yourself up. They don't stack, right? Those are individuals too. Why? I don't know. I guess it's the item that they use for that. I don't know. If you guys know, put it in the comments. Let people know why. Anyway, boosters can be sold on the AH or the bazaar, which is great because I have a bunch of that. You're not gonna be using them all, right? You only need like one or two. Once you've used them and you got the full benefit out of them, you don't need no more, and it just gives you tons of them, like all the other things. I am a little worried why they only added the foraging boosters though, because there's some of the booster-like stuff that you get from other stuff that's not on the actual bazaar. So I don't know. Forging armor progression changes. Okay. Reduce the park's armor rarity to common. Reduce the canopy armor rarity to uncommon. Big armor now uses canopy armor in its crafting recipe. Okay, so you have to have the canopy armor to make the fig armor. Now, I kind of wish I'd have done that before the update now. Abysmal lasso changes can now be crafted with 5 sea lemons now. Added a recipe for sea lemons 1. Added to the recipe on to sea lemons 1. Okay, so that's the recipe, and then they put it on. Okay, I get you. Vine grip lasso now uses abysmal lasso in its crafting recipe. I guess they didn't make these recipes hard enough. Is that what it is? Okay, so for me, in general, I hate it when you're going through the actual, whatever it is, mining, farming, whatever, and then you get a suit of armor, and then there's an upgrade to that armor. It's a straight upgrade, right? But they don't use the other armor to upgrade to the new armor. For some reason, they just make a new recipe for a new set of armor. I guess my biggest one is the wheat armors. So the wheat armor, there's a regular armor, you use regular things, or you don't use the regular arm, regular wheat armor in the recipe for the good, the rare wheat armor that's later on in the wheat collection. So that kind of thing is annoying. So the fact that they're going through here and fixing that in these ones, they need to go back and fix some of the actual recipes in the actual past collections to make sure that they do that exact same thing. I think it would be great, but you tell me what you think about that in the comments down below. See if that's something you got to be interested in. Kira will now give her Abifun contact if you give her a chameleon shard. Having her contact will also allow you to buy an additional shard each day. Okay. Only Gallatin sea creatures can now be fished in Galati. This does not include event and hotspot sea creatures. Scaffolding changes. You can now stays up as long as you're within 5 blocks of it. Can now be placed next to blocks in water and on non-full blocks, and can now be placed in tangle burrs. So there you go. 4 new rabbit residents in Galatia. The Emperor Skull added the Emperor Skull to a crafting recipe for abysmal armor. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. You guys will have to tell me on that one. Stretching, what is that? Stretching stick recipe changes. Fig Hue now requires 8 stretching sticks. Sharpening axe now requires 8. Reinforced hunting axe now requires 16. Savage hunting axe now requires 32. Primitive hunting axe now requires 64, and the mangrove vine now requires 64 stretching sticks. I am going to need me some springs. I have a Powerade in the fridge, but I don't feel like getting up. Sturdy bones are now used to craft the medium and turbo fishing nets. Fig tree gift changes. They nerfed it. They nerfed it big. I guess it was given too much, they thought. What is Missile 1? I'll have to look at that one. That seems like it might be a good one to get. Anyway, they've reduced it by half. You guys can see the amounts here. I won't worry you on that one. Trevor the Trapper now gives hunting XP for completing hunts. Okay, so if you do hunts, there you go. Most people don't, so if you do them, there you go. You no longer get hunting XP for loot sharing. Okay. Snorkeling shoes now come with Depth Strider 3 when purchased. Okay, that seems like a good thing. Why wouldn't you put Depth Strider 3 on boots called snorkeling that you would use probably for underwater use? Questions that need to be asked of the devs. Buff the hunter's pressure platinum attribute now scales from 5 to 50%. The Reborn Prince attribute now sends a chat message when it procs. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, I don't know anything about this one, so hopefully that makes sense for you guys. You can now shift right-click shards in your hunting box to convert all the shards. That's great. That's great because it was kind of annoying doing one at a time. Oxidal now lock on to a this. Thank God, because these phantoms and stuff that somebody else summoned and have run off, and then they lock on you and end up killing like new players and stuff. That was kind of annoying. Player that eluded them and ignore all other players, any other players. This change should make the shards easier to collect without getting accidentally griefed by other players. Oh, okay, so that's the reason why they did it. Phantom changes. They no longer deal any damage. Thank God. Those things are annoying. I always turn them off whenever I'm playing regular Minecraft. So when lassoing them, they no longer dive super far. They now despawn after 60 seconds of not interacting with them. Thank God, is another great change. Those things are annoying. You guys seen my videos, you know when I went over there to do those. It's not fun. And let's take out stuff that's not fun in the game. That's a great change. Salamanders are now fused into by using newt shards in any water shard. Okay. Charmeleons are now require one shard to fuse. Getting multiple shards via hunting fortune now doubles and triples, etc. the points that you get in Agatha's contest. Okay, so it's giving you little ways. I bet you nobody read this part right here. They were just complaining because the actual brackets got increased, but they didn't check out to see they actually added a way to get double and triple points into there. So you can actually get more points than you did before. That's why they increased it. Oh well. Buffed the amount of foraging XP and SkyBlock XP earned from swoops milestones. Shocker bullets now ignore block collision for the first few seconds after being fired. They also home in slightly now. I guess that's pretty good. Stealth 1 books are now times 10 as rare from chill bones and chill shots. Hannah's chapter task that required you to get 100 shards from lush lilac bonbons now only requires 25 shards. Good. Added a warp merc and warp lock as aliases for the warp merc water. Okay. All shards now actually have the word shard in their name rather than just being the name of the mob. Okay, that seems like a good change also. You are now able to click on attribute fusion and transfer chat messages to quickly open your hunter box. Okay. Sorting filters are no longer retained when reopening the attribute menu to reduce confusion. Okay. I don't know if people are getting confused on that, but hey, whatever. Ryan can now detect logs obtained from your personal compactor and Bazaar for Campfire quest line. Okay, so he wasn't detecting your personal compactor when you was. So if you did something in the personal compactor and it converted it over to enchanted materials, it wasn't counting for your actual Campfire quest line stuff. I understand that. They fixed it, so added a right click to view recipes to the. Sorry guys, I lost my train of thought there. Um, Added a right click to view recipes to the Rune Blade Talisman and Ring. You can no longer place hunting toolkit transformed items into the reforged anvil. Okay, I wonder why they did that. So I guess some kind of a dupe or something. Pre-gift chat messages are now dark green instead of blue. Remove the plus from the I am falling asleep here, guys. I need to hurry right now. I'm taking a nap. Tree give chat messages are now dark green instead of blue. Remove the plus from the description of the cookie eater bite bug attribute as it was misleading. Remove the catacombs level requirement for purchasing forest essence from the bazaar. That is a wonderful change. There's several other essences that you're supposed to be able to buy in the game that still require you to have catacombs levels, which they need to fix. So, mob types. This is a big change in the game, which I don't know if I like or don't like, but it was probably needed. It is going to end up being more damage overall, but you're going to have more enchantments on your weapons, which is going to be probably a bit more confusing in the long run. Is an endermite an endermob or an arthropod? Does it take more damage from Ender Slayer or Bane of Arthropods? We've designed a simple typing system to help players understand what categories of mobs fall into and how enchantments interact with them. You can figure out what type a mob is by looking at the symbol in their name. So, let me give you an example here, and that's the symbol right there. So, this is a list of all the new mobs types in the game. I am not going to read all these off, but there you go, and it tells you the behavior that is special for these types of mobs. So you can take a look at those, make sure that you remember those. Mob types house. As part of this update, a new house has been added to the Spider's Den, and that aims to get on board new players in the art of mob types. Michael will introduce players to the concept of mob types. Ica lists all of the mob types and reward players for the first time they slay each of them. Okay. Extra stuff, so that's good. It doesn't say what the reward is, though, does it? Enchantment changes. The arcane enchantment now works on all woodland mobs. It has also been renamed Wood Splitter. The cubism enchantment now works on all cubic mobs. The Dragon Hunter enchantment now works on all airborne mobs. It has also been renamed to Gravity. Ah, that's what that was. I seen that today when I was enchanting. I was like, what's Gravity? That makes sense. The Impaling enchantment now works on all aquatic mobs. The Smite enchantment now works on undead mobs. The Smoldering enchantment now works on all infernal mobs. Replace the Ender Slayer 7 drop from Endstone Idol, which upgrades Endstone 6 to 7. Replace Smite 7 drop with Severed Hand, which upgrades Smite 6 to 7. Isn't that an extra step? Why would you add an extra step? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway. Item changes. The End Sword now deals bonus damage to end mobs. The following items are now deal bonus damage to undead mobs. So all of these. And some of them, like the Reaper Falcon and the Halberd of the Shredded, also removed their damage reduction. So that kind of sucks also. Reaper Armor, Troll of the Reaper ability now applies to undead mobs. The following items now deal bonus damage to arthropods. That's the Spider Hat, Spider Sword, Scorpion Foil, Recluse Fang, Sting, and Tarantula Ring. Wither Blades now deal bonus damage to wither mobs. Other changes. Let me scroll all these up so we can see them all in here. There we go. All fortune stats are now disabled on private islands. That sucks. And I'm guessing people were abusing that. What's the point? Honestly, what's the point in having minions then? If you're going to take that away, that means when you're looting minions, you don't get that bonus. So, what's the point of having the minions now? Right? I don't like that one. That's stupid. Golden Dragon Symbiosis perk and the Hound's Scavenger perk no longer work on private islands. I can understand that one. Diamond the Fish is now soulbound and are sold in Oleander's Lost Reward shop for 10 million coins. Stew the Fish is now 6 times more common from drinking suspicious stew. Okay. Flake the Fish is now an outstanding treasure catch from fishing in the Jerry's Workshop. Okay. Renamed Thunder Shards to Thunder Fragments because of the shard system. I understand that one. You can no longer fish in the water in the Crimson Isle. I heard about this one. I don't know why there's water in the Crimson Isle. So, is this supposed to be a hellscape, right? Lava and that's it. Well, I don't know why they put water anywhere. Hide vanilla item attributes for icons in the stat breakdown menu. Some large stat bonuses are dramatically recalculated to prevent players from obtaining infinite stats. That's hilarious. Alkyliosaurus Armored Tank perk is now capped at 1000 strength. And removed hidden passive in the Sponge Armor and Shark armor that prevented air loss. Okay. So people were using that to get infinite air on the Foraging Islands Galaxy. So we have a long list here of bug fixes. I will go through these real quickly. They fixed David's cloak upgrading its rarity at the wrong attribute milestone levels. Okay. They fixed Hell Sweep, Manor Cub attributes not working. They fixed Hunter Trap milestones incorrect simply just showing the salt hunt milestones. They fixed an issue with joy divers despawning in certain situations when they shouldn't be. Excuse me, guys. They fixed the max out the foraging attribute task for Hannah chapters not unlocking for some players. They fixed the fish tasks in Hannah's chapters not completing under certain conditions. Fixed Fig and Mandrake log collections not counting towards the Raiders Axe bonus. Thank God, because I was going to use that one. And now that I know that wouldn't have worked before this update went live. So now it does work for that. So we can go over there and get a crap ton of wood from the Fig to max out that sword bonus we need for that challenge. So that's good. Fixed Ocelot Pet Tree Essence perk not working on Fig and Mangrove. I did not know that, so I was using the Ocelot Pet on my main account. That's a good little thing there. I didn't know that was not working. Fixed being able to buy the early bird Heart of the Forest perk when you had Tree Whisper perk, but not 250 gifts perk. Okay. Fixed chameleon shards not being siphonable, not giving XP, and falsely displaying the maxed in the hunter's box. Fixed chameleon shards saying they required hunting level 10 when they don't actually require that. Okay. Fix the rain slime mana steel attribute description not being accurate to what it actually does. Fix the woodcutting crystal recipe not using enchanted spruce logs despite being in the spruce collection. Okay. Let me get another drink. Okay. Fix Mulbert's quest not sending a chat message when players have collected enough jungle logs. Fixed Yogg not being able to bypass the damage cap on the hunter's axis. Fixed Carrot Kings acting weird around black holes. Fixed being able to use the signal enhancer even after the beacon is maxed out. Fixed Lock Emperor shards being called Lock Emperor shards. Okay. Fix Hindus leaves not using the name in the death message. Fix the text inconsistencies with the Mulbert quest line. Fixed a couple of instances where that mentioned needing to be on 1.21.4 to join instead of 0.5. Fix some weird coloring in the chat messages that you get when sending a shard to a hunter's box. Fix 2 missing exclamation points in the beacon tuning menu. Fixed an issue with the dialog box in the Jade Dragon. Fixed a minor text issue when obtaining a bulb leaf shard. Fixed a minor grammatical issue with the Hannah's task. Fixed a minor grammatical issue with Mulbert's traps. Fixed shell attribute not granting knockback immunity against certain mobs. Fixed inability to hit glaciate walkers with the hunter's axe. Fixed an issue with Jacob's contest brackets not scaling properly when Finian's goaded perk is active. Fixed teleport abilities not resetting fall damage, leading to taking more damage than expected when landing. Fixed a misplaced ladder in the sandcastle barn skin. I've not seen that one. I'm going to have to try to find that. Requires pasting the skin again. Fixed the Jerry visitor on the garden territorial not showing up. That was annoying because you have to actually go out and then come back to the garden to get him to pop up. So I'm glad they fixed that. I've had that happen to me twice on video, actually. Fixed players not receiving experimentation table rewards if their game ends from the server restarting. You can see that being annoying also. Now, this is the part where people came down to this and read this and then read the entire patch notes. But, you know, why would you go to the end and read the end first? That's not right. So, what's next? They're working on the second foraging island. We have now completed most of the remaining work for the Moonglade Marsh, the first island of Glacia. While we already have designed the majority of the features for the next two islands, which are Terhas Canyon, I'm not pronouncing that right, and Luna Rise, the other islands in Galati, we have not started development just yet. That being said, having these plans ready should make things easier once we do. Stonking, the use of a ghost pick in the catacombs has reached to reach secrets faster and increase efficiency has been part of the game for a long time. Although the game wasn't initially designed for this mechanic in mind, we recognize the skill and mastery players have developed around it. Additionally, we've found that the catacombs might simply be less enjoyable for players if we're forced to reach each secret slowly, using only the intended methods. As we continue to introduce more features from newer versions of newer Minecraft versions into SkyBlock, we officially implementing stonking-like mechanic accessible across all game versions. If you're interested in seeing our plan in action, we're holding a multiple testing session on alpha in the coming weeks. That's cool. Guardian Slayer. You might have heard people talking about this today. We previously announced that we were working on new Slayers and now feel comfortable sharing the identity of the new fishing-based one. The Guardian Slayer takes place in a dedicated instant island accessible via the ship navigator, where players can fish up that island's exclusive sea creatures and kill them until the boss spawns. Since the boss is an island, it has an island all to itself. You can only be spawned there. It has allowed us to tie some really cool map mechanics into the boss abilities, which we are excited for you to see soon. Guardian Slayers will be releasing after the Loda Atoll on account of it relying on some of the new systems introduced in Atoll. However, both updates are currently deep in development. That is all. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed all of this updates. My little commentary on some of this stuff. Let me know what you think about the new update. If it's good, if it's bad, stuff you wish they hadn't changed, stuff you think they should change. Put it in the comments down below. If you like this episode, make sure you smack that like button. It really helps out the channel with YouTube views, YouTube searches, YouTube algorithm movement for the channel. If you subscribe to my channel and you want to get notifications when I have new videos out, all you got to do is go to my page, hit the subscribe button, set your settings, you can come check out the videos. If you do like this episode, you want to share it with your friends, tell them that you like it, there's a share tab down below. There's links there, social media site. There's a link there for you to copy and post on YouTube community page. Any tips, tricks, or comments, put it in the comments down below. See you guys later.